Did you know that gold and silver are the only forms of money mentioned in the Constitution, and for decades the government has discouraged us from owning it by taxing it? Finally, more U.S. lawmakers are fighting back. Now, 12 states don't tax their residents for any gains they make on gold and silver. Hi, this is Ivory Hecker for Noble Gold News. Governor Jim Pillen recently signed a law making Nebraska the 12th state to eliminate capital gains taxes on the sale of gold and silver. This new legislation, LB 1317, is the fourth major sound money bill passed this year as states work to shield their citizens from inflation and escalating federal debt. Under this new law in Nebraska, any profits or losses from selling precious metals that are reported on federal tax returns won't affect your Nebraska adjusted gross income, or AGI. The bill received unanimous approval from Nebraska's unicameral legislature's Revenue Committee before being included in a larger bill. Senator Ben Hansen, the sponsor of the bill, celebrated its enactment, noting, quote, "Gold and silver are the only currencies mentioned in our Constitution, and this law ensures people can use them without government penalties. Using these metals is our right and helps guard against the federal government's continuous reduction of our paper currency's value," he said. He pointed out that taxpayers often see gains when exchanging these metals back into U.S. dollars, though these gains merely reflect the devaluation of the currency, not any real increase in wealth. Despite these not being real gains, the IRS has taxed them. Nebraska has chosen not to follow this federal lead. J.P. Cortez, executive director of the Sound Money Defense League, testified before the Revenue Committee, explaining that much of the severe inflation in Nebraska is due to actions by the Federal Reserve. He advocated for state action to provide Nebraskans with straightforward access to owning gold and silver, emphasizing that these metals are not only effective against inflation, but are also being reintroduced as a viable money by several states. Currently, 11 other states have also removed income tax on the sale of precious metals, with recent additions like Arkansas, Arizona, and Utah. States like Iowa, Georgia, Oklahoma, Missouri, West Virginia, and Kansas are considering similar measures in 2024. Representative Alex Mooney of West Virginia also supported the Monetary Metals Tax Neutrality Act. The bill aims to do the same thing, except the sale or exchange of precious metals, such as gold and silver bullion coins, from federal income tax calculations. Representative Scott Perry of Pennsylvania and Randy Weber of Texas are original sponsors of the bill. Currently, the IRS recognizes gold and silver as collectibles like artwork and baseball cards, which means they can be taxed at a high rate of 28% for long-term capital gains. Many argue that this tax is inappropriate since these metals are recognized as money in the U.S. Constitution, and the IRS has not justified this classification. Additionally, the U.S. Mint produces coins like gold and silver, platinum, and palladium, each with a designated legal tender value in U.S. dollars, which further contradicts their tax treatment as collectibles. J.P. Cortez from the Sound Money Defense League argues that, quote, U.S. inflation is not caused by CEOs of grocery stores or by outside world leaders. It is caused by the Federal Reserve and federal policy. The federal government has a responsibility to remove disincentives for people seeking alternatives to the Federal Reserve note dollars to protect their savings, he said. We will stay on this and keep you updated. Please consider liking this video and subscribing if you haven't already. This has been Ivory Hecker for Noble Gold News.